All right, folks, what is going on? Back with another video. Not going to take too long on this one, but I do want to talk about Georgia Southern and Atlanta Falcons in this video. I kind of wanted to stay my distance from the Falcons, but I do have to admit they did impress me with the win over the Commanders, so they did pretty good. So let's talk about Georgia Southern first before I get to the Falcons. Georgia Southern. I did a whole video the other day about the reality of Georgia Southern football, and I feel like that this team, they need to win the next couple of games. I know we got to take it one game at a time, and I think it's a bye week for them. They don't play again until the 9th, which is really good. So that gives them a chance to, be on a bye week or whatever the case may be. And they need to get back and focused and just try to get things going when it comes to the next game, playing against Southern Miss at home. So one game at a time, but you got to win both of these games, them and against Georgia State. There's no excuses at that point. Once you get past those two games, get a W, then you can definitely go on a run. I would like to go on a run like right now. So that's the way to go. So I really believe that, hey, let's get these two games right. Let's get the bye week together so we can get things rolling for the following week. And I think we're going to be in pretty good shape. So with that being said, let's talk about the Atlanta Falcons. The Falcons, I will say this. They're pretty much on schedule. They're supposed to go 2-2 based on what everybody was saying, but it's kind of backwards. They were supposed to beat the Panthers and the Buccaneers and lose to Minnesota and the Commanders. They got it the other way around. They beat the more, I'll say the better teams, and they lost to the teams that they should have won against. And it is what it is. 2-2 is 2-2. You got to go up against Buffalo on a Monday night game. I think they have a bye week as well. I'm not 100% certain, but nevertheless, you playing on Monday night, and you got to show what you're made of at this point. You're going up against Josh Allen. Some people think he's already the MVP or will be the MVP, and so you're going to have to show what you're made of against this team. Is this team beatable? I think this team is beatable. I think the Falcons can give them a run because the Falcons, all in all, they're not a bad team. The Falcons, just like Georgia Southern, they're not a bad team. I just think that with the game against the the Panthers, it caused people to think. It made people think a little bit, and they're like, all right, what is this team? And then they bounce back. If they can build off of what they did, bouncing back, and just continue to play that good, they can play against anybody. We thought they were going to lay an egg against Minnesota, and you saw what type of team they did that showed up then. So we want to see that team that played against Minnesota show up. We want to see the team that played against the Commanders show up. Hell, I wouldn't even be against the team that showed up against Tampa Bay to show up, because that wasn't that was still a really good effort for the Atlanta Falcons. But they're going to have to take a little bit more when you play against Buffalo. You beat these guys, and you will shock the world. You beat them, you will shock the world and say, all right, Atlanta is really for real. And I think that a lot of people are kind of sleeping on the Falcons a little bit, and I get it. It's the Falcons. But I think they'll be able to do some things and probably make this a really good game. And I wouldn't be surprised if they win this one, to be honest, because if they play like they played this past week, yeah, I think they can play against anybody. Now, before I get out, I want to get back to Georgia Southern really quick, because that's what I really wanted to talk about. I know a lot of people are down on the team. A lot of people want Coach Clay Helton fired, and I don't blame them. And I'm like right there with you. I'm like 85 to 90% there with you. But I'm giving out hope that you win these next two games, and you end up, 5-3 or 4-3? Is it 4-3? Yeah, you end up 4-3. And you go on a run, and you possibly could win 9, 10, or 11 games. I think that's the ideal side of things, and I want to see that happen, because if that does happen, and he's gonna stay another year regardless. But I will say that's somewhat a successful season. Now, I know some people were like, no, it's Sun Belt or bust, or we gotta walk home with a Sun Belt title. I totally understand it. And I know a lot of people with Georgia Southern, they really feel that, this should be the year This should be the dominant team that we always thought it to be. Georgia Southern is built off dominance, and this, that, the third. And I agree. I mean, I've been watching them since the early '90s, and I really believe that Georgia Southern was one of those big FCS 1AA powerhouse teams. But when you move up to the FBS, it's just a different animal. I mean, and that's really the reality of it. It's just a different animal when you're looking at what's going on in the plight of college football. I think Coach Clay Helton and company have done pretty much everything correct when it comes to putting this team together. I just think that they just have some shortcomings in the coaching department. I don't think the coaching did anything wrong putting the team together or getting the team, assembled, but it's just the execution on the field where these coaches are just not, they're just not in tune to get this team to the next level where they need to be. The players are there. I think we got some extremely talented players, but I just think that we're not at where we need to be on the sidelines. And they have a chance to prove that one more time this week or the rest of the season. Because if they fall, to me, I look at it like this. You have to win every single game at this point. I already said this from the beginning that Georgia Southern has to go win out to go 10-3 or 9-3, and you win a bowl game or whatever the case may be. And that's what I said. Like 8-4 is like the bare minimum. So you gotta basically win out, because I don't see them losing another Sun Belt game. And people are talking about ODU. They're talking about Old Dominion right now. I mean, that game's 2 months away. Anything can happen between now and 2 months. We don't play them next week. So I don't know what type of team we're going to be. We don't know what type of team they're going to be by then, So I'm not putting any, stock in that right now. But all I know is right now we playing Southern Miss next, and you got to beat them at Paulson. You got Georgia State at home at Paulson. This is a good time to start getting your feet under you and actually start playing the football that you want to play. So I just feel like at the end of the day, you are what you are. And this is why I said from the beginning, you lose to Fresno, you lose to USC, you lose to JMU. And some people's like, we don't accept losses. But okay, I mean, we don't accept losses. But the reality of it is those teams are better. Even with the way this team is assembled, those teams are better. Do you want to win those games? Absolutely, I want to win those games. But I know what our team is. I know what our team is. And for them, it seems like they underachieved, especially the way they lost to JMU. Look, like it is almost the same thing like with the Falcons playing against the Panthers. You're better than that. But now you have a chance to redeem yourself, and the Falcons redeem themselves. They look like a totally different team playing against the Commanders. Will Georgia Southern look like a totally different team playing Southern Miss? We'll see. Because if they look like a totally different team, you have an opportunity to go on a run. And let's say, what if JMU falls? And you take care of your business, and what if JMU do fall? You may backdoor into a Sun Belt title, but who's going to complain about that? So I look at both of these teams, and I'm like, yeah, they're looking good. Well, the Falcons are looking good. The Georgia Southern Eagles are in a good position to look good. And can they do it? I'm giving them about a 40% chance. I'm not going to lie. Maybe 30% chance. Because it's the coaching, man. It's the coaching. They got to get these guys right. But I do think the Falcons are going to be fine. And I think they can shock the world against Buffalo. So let me know what you guys think. I can ramble all day about these two teams. And yeah, y'all let me know what y'all think. I'm going to get up out of here. Y'all take it easy and y'all be blessed. Peace.